And welcome to the Deuce Podcast. I'm Brad.
And I'm Jeremy.
This is episode 132. We've made it to 132.
Finally.
Hey, it's been a while. And we're doing our second installment of dinosaur movies.
Yes.
This week we decided to do The Land Before Time 2, The Great Valley Adventure from 1994, the sequel to the 1988 movie, The Land Before Time.
Yes, and I know a lot of people are deeply in love with these Land Before Time films.
Are they? Or are they just deeply in love with the first one?
I think they are with the first one especially, but the nostalgia, I think, is the big...
Now, in the process of learning about this movie, we found that there's 14 of these.
Yeah.
And a cartoon.
And a TV show,
And a TV cartoon show. So there's that. In December 23rd, 1994, it was released on VHS and Laserdisc.
Ooh.
I think it's the only one that was on Laserdisc. So if you got one of these on Laserdiscs,
we need to know.
We need to make fun of you. All right. Because, Laserdisc.
You need to be honored and simultaneously mocked.
Did you know in 2011 that Total Films ranked this as the 7th among the 50 worst kids movies?
No, but
I don't know what number
could
one
have
was.
guessed that.
What's number one?
The worst kids movies?
I have to look that one up, yeah.
I don't know.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I don't know.
The brave little toaster.
I think that's a little harsh for this movie.
Yeah.
There's parts of it that are like, wow.
I've seen better kids movies.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of better kids movies, but I've also seen worse kids movies.
Sure.
And I don't think this really deserves that. I think it has
some merit.
It has some potential to it. And yeah,
I say it's got some nice scenes.
It does.
It's not terrible.
Yeah, it does. It's something I could see watch. Like if we had kids, we could sit them down and watch these. I'd be okay with them watching.
Yeah, no, it's a kids movie. Yeah, for the most part. What was I going to say? I don't know what I was going to say. I lost my train of thought. That's okay. Well, I'll get it back. But this movie did come out in 1994. Do we have a plot synopsis, Jeremy?
Yes, we do. So here we go. This time, while building a hideaway in their new home of the Great Valley, Littlefoot and the gang rescue a mysterious egg from two scheming egg nappers and make a startling surprise and a new friend when the egg hatches.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in this movie.
It actually feels very
longer than it should.
It's only 73 minutes long.
It feels like it's long.
I know, doesn't it?
It really does.
But it feels like it feels very episodic.
Yeah, kind of.
It feels like it's broken into like three sections,
two or three sections.
Yeah,
yeah.
And so it's like they could. Well, but think about that. Then they could make this into. Yeah, it's probably built to be a television, like you played it, and Yeah.
Okay, before we go any further, can I tell you a story?
Yes.
Yeah. When I was younger, I had a Littlefoot puppet
from Pizza Hut.
Yes. Right, because
that's what I was going to talk about too.
Yeah, but it was like
a rubber glove.
It was rubbery, instead of felt, so you really couldn't use it very well.
Yeah, right.
So it was like this stupidest puppet that you could have, because all you could do is just no one can see because it's a podcast,
right?
But I'm moving my hand like just in front of me. That's all you could do. You couldn't move his mouth or anything.
No.
So what was the point of that?
It was like
Pizza Hut.
It was like a glove, basically, because it had legs too.
Yeah.
I had. I remember I had.
You had it too?
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember being mad because I got Spike.
Well, yeah, anyone would.
And then I was like, can we go back and get like a different one? But so we went back again to have Pizza Hut, and I got Ducky.
Oh God!
I know. Like they did not like me there. And
what was wrong with your pizza? Was it once a bank, or was it later?
No,
on a bank.
No, it started as a Pizza Hut.
Okay.
And I think it ended as a Pizza Hut.
Oh, so it didn't turn into like a U.S. bank or something?
No, nothing like that.
Okay.
No, not like any type of like car dealership or anything, but it stayed a Pizza Hut.
Like you could do that, like where you see like an old building.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, this Taco Bell used to be a Pizza Hut.
Yeah. So the funny thing was, like, the
Did they have glasses too, like drinking glasses? I swear they did.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Yeah, I like the
Pizza
jelly,
Hut was a
the
big
jelly jar
sponsor of
things.
these Land Before Time.
Oh god, yeah, they were. But I think they were pretty savvy on like. So like, think about Book It.
What's Book It?
You don't remember Book It?
Wait, is this another weird?
No, it's
Illinois
not a weird
thing?
Illinois thing. People out there, please vindicate me with
I know
this one.
Scholastic books, but not Book It.
No, Book It was you would read a book.
No, then no.
And then you would get a sticker on like a button. And when you got to so many stickers, you got a free personal pizza.
Oh, I don't know. Sure.
You don't remember that?
My sister probably did it.
But you're the same age as me.
Yeah, but I didn't do it. I can't remember things.
Yeah. And the pin that they gave you, the button was really cool because it was one of those where like you move it and things moved on it.
Yeah, it's probably more movable than that damn puppet that they gave you.
Yeah.
Littlefoot.
But I loved that. I loved getting those.
You just stuck your fist in Littlefoot and you're just like, I'm sorry. I just realized what I said. Sorry.
Just
sorry, phrasing.
Fist in middle.
Just all right, this is a kids movie, so let's where should we start? Because I just want to get on.
That is the tagline of this episode. Land Before Time.
Fist
2.
the puppet. Land Before Time.
The Great Valley Adventure.
The great. I'm sure. Yes, Littlefoot had a really
great Valley Adventure.
Great Valley Adventure.
Good Lord.
I think I said the Great Valley Ranch Adventure.
Yes, the Hidden
So
Valley
they're like,
Ranch.
but they're like set in their kind of utopia.
Yeah, so that
like
was
away from all the meteors,
Yeah.
except for the
which inexplicably get there somehow. So, the first movie was his Littlefoot's mom dies defending him, trying to get to the Great Valley, and so he's on his own, and they meet with. That's when he meets like all the other dinosaur friends. But then they
Scott McAfee is Littlefoot, right?
In this one, I'm not sure if he was in the other one.
Oh, but this one it's Scott
Yes.
McAfee.
Yes.
Yeah. Which he's more famous for the computer virus software.
No, not that McAfee.
No. Okay.
That guy is interesting. John McAfee.
Yes.
Is his name. Anyway, so in the first movie they make it, and he, of course, meets up with his parents. And the other dinosaurs, we have Sarah, so like a little triceratops.
Oh, she's the worst.
She's terrible.
She's the Grandpa Joe.
She's the Miss. No, she's not. She's the Miss Piggy
She's
of
the
this
Grandpa
thing.
Joe.
She's the obstinate, like, supposed to be tough but not really, kind of. So we have her. We have Spike, who is like a baby Stegosaurus who doesn't talk.
Who got paid by the words.
Yeah. Apparently, he's voiced by Rob Paulson.
Well, yeah.
But he apparently...
He was voiced by Rob. He didn't
when
talk.
He goes...
No.
And stuff. Rob Paulson does that. But he...
You can just turn on the vacuum.
Apparently, he talks in one of the later movies, which shocked me a lot. But
probably shocked audiences, too.
Yeah. If I was watching it and suddenly he talked, I'd be like...
he talked.
No. I'm invested in this again because they changed the rules on me. We also have Ducky,
played by John Cryer.
Who's a little duck-billed dinosaur. I can't
Heather
remember.
Hogan plays Ducky.
Oh yeah. And so she's like, her thing is she's their swimmer, because she's a water dinosaur. And then there's of course Littlefoot, the Brontosaurus. And then you have, who am I missing? Petrie.
Jeff Bennett.
Yes.
Is Petrie / Ozzy.
So he also plays Ozzy, who's the one of the two egg-stealing dinosaurs. Mm-hmm. There's Ozzy, and then the other guy is, I want to say Harriet, but I know that's not right. It's Strut.
Okay.
Because they're like
also played by Rob.
Also played by Rob Paulson.
I was going to say Rob Thomas.
Oh, so Rob Paulson
does the voice one. In the Land Before Time.
So Rob Paulson is the one who does the voice of Pinky from Pinky and the Brain.
Right.
And so he does Petrie.
So it was very hard because when they first started talking,
yeah,
like that's all I could hear.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do today?
Yeah, when he does the dinosaur.
We're gonna go get some eggs.
Yeah. Yes, it's exactly the same thing we do every day, Strat.
Get eggs.
But the other guy,
because they're eggs.
What's his name again? Who plays Ozzy?
The guy that plays Ozzy is Jeff Bennett.
Jeff Bennett, yes, is the voice of Johnny Bravo.
Yes. Very odd because it's very like
Petrie voice, and then he does like Johnny Bravo.
Johnny Bravo, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, hey.
So
like Elvis kind of.
Yeah, it's so weird. So Bradley, when I told him that, he was like, "Okay, that guy's talented." Like,
yeah,
that was the first thing he said. Oh my god.
Well, because if you can do like something small, and then you can do something, big like that, and me go, oh wow,
yeah,
like those are the same people. Like you're pretty talented. Because there's so many times like where you hear someone and you're like, oh, that sounds like Marge Simpson.
Yeah.
And then you realize it's just Joe Biden's vice president. No, I'm just joking.
So some other voice actors on here. Kenneth Mars.
Right. Who was on Veronica Mars. Well, that's Keith Mars.
Keith Mars. No, this is Kenneth Mars was he was Franz Libkin in the original Producers.
Was he really?
Yeah. Yeah, that was him.
Okay.
He's in tons of Mel Brooks stuff.
I was thinking of Christopher Hewitt, who played Mr. Belvedere, who was in the Producers.
Yeah, he was in that too, in the original Producers.
Yeah.
But not as Franz Liebkind.
No.
But no, the guy's got a very prolific career. A lot of times you hear him doing like German voices. He was also King Triton in The Little Mermaid. He was Ariel's dad.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Yes, or a lot of people's, first crushes. Anyway,
so no, he's got a very prolific career, and then of course, Ducky's mom starts talking, and I was like, "Oh shit, that's Tress MacNeille." Somebody just a very again prolific voice actor. She's done voices for The Simpsons and Futurama. She
played most of the mothers in the production. She was Petrie's mom.
Yes,
and she was Ducky's mom.
Yeah, she plays. Tress MacNeille was Dot Warner on Animaniacs.
Animaniacs.
Yeah, and
so was Rob Paulson.
Rob Paulson is Yakko Warner.
Yeah.
So yeah,
there you go. And then John Ingle, who was the narrator.
Yes.
Who was I know him from General Hospital. He was Alan Quartermain, but he's prolific. He was in 1988. I think he stopped like doing teaching for acting. So he's taught a lot of like people like David Schwimmer, Nicolas Cage, some other people, you know, in the biz.
But he's been in tons of things. He was in
Heathers. He's been in tons of things.
Heathers,
too,
RoboCop.
Yes.
I mean, he's been in shitloads of things.
Yes, he was in RoboCop and Heathers. Yeah, he was pretty funny in Heathers.
Yeah,
he's one of those characters, and he's not with us anymore. But he was one of those character actors that just would pop up, and you're like, that guy.
Oh yeah, him. Yeah.
But I know him as Alan Quartermain, who was married to the fabulous Lila Quartermain, who was my favorite actress ever.
So yeah. So this movie basically, even though it's a kids movie, even though it was a direct-to-video release,
and we normally don't do direct-to-video, but
yeah, I mean,
for this case, we were doing dinosaur movies. And it was on Laserdisc, so
it was on, we busted out
direct to Laserdisc,
along with Mom and Dad Save the World.
We did.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. No, you gave that to Court.
Yeah, Court Psyops over on Cinema Psyops for a gift for 1 year. We gave him.
And I don't know why I get that confused with Problem Child, probably because of the John Ritter thing. But
I get it confused with Mom and Dad Save the World.
Is John Ritter in that too?
No, the creepy guy from.
Why are you getting confused by that?
Ferris Bueller's Principal is in that.
Oh, creepy.
Yeah.
Not the fox.
No, not from the fox from Zoobly Zoo. Just in case you're wondering. But Terry Gard's in that movie too. And so is John Lovitz.
Okay.
Mom and Dad Save the World.
Okay, so Terry Gard's the only
Todd
great
Spango.
person. So Terry Gard's the talent.
Yes.
In the movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
So John Lovitz plays Todd Spango, the intergalactic warlord, who of course is ruling over the world, and who has brought them there to get his new bride because he spied her through his long distance telescope.
Okay.
We all know the plot to Mom and Dad Save the World.
Oh, yes, we do. Who doesn't? Speaking of Mom and Dad Save the World, we're doing Land Before Time 2, which has nothing to do with Mom and Dad Save the World. But I would like to talk about the voice, because we did go through the cast of voice actors. I would like to talk about the voice acting, because I kind of appreciated the voice acting in this movie.
Yes.
I thought it was pretty well done. I thought it was well casted. And I thought, these are up and coming, voice actors that you'll hear later on in your life. So I was quite impressed by it, I thought.
Well, yeah, and they did
spot on.
So they did they're really good about actually getting kids, or at least semi-young people, to do voices for some of the characters. Mm-hmm. And they do a really interesting thing where it's this mix of stuff. So like Rob Paulsen obviously is voicing one of the juvenile dinosaurs, as is Jeff Bennett. And so you get them, but then you also get kids who are doing like Littlefoot, Sarah, and Ducky. So it's not like adults just constantly doing voices, or it's all kids and hokey. It's like this mix of talent, upcoming and like seasoned people who are doing this. And actually, I will attribute a lot of this. I noticed as we were watching or seeing the credits, all I could think to myself was, well, of course it is. The voice casting, or the voice director, the voice casting in this was done by Andrea Romano, who's
Ray Romano's daughter.
Incorrect.
Okay.
No, Ray. What you've done?
I know. Evil.
She has done voice directing and voice casting
for tons of stuff.
For so many shows, and like all of the DC animated stuff.
Sure. Which is amazing, because there's some super great talent there.
Yes. So she's done all of that. She's done stuff she's done tons with WB and Steve later at CW, but like Freakazoid and she did tons of things. She has as a casting director, she has 121 credits. As a actress herself, because she's done some of the voices too, she's got like 42 credits. Her just miscellaneous crew is like voice casting. She has 123.
Sure.
So, she's got...
But what I'm asking you, Jeremy...
Yes.
Since you're a big fan of voice acting, how did you enjoy the voice acting in this movie?
I thought the voice acting was pretty... I thought the kids...
Yes.
I think the thing to me is this. Like, your Rob Paulsens, your, those people who are seasoned, your Maurice LaMarches, your Billy Wests, like, those guys... You can be pretty sure you're going to get, and Tress McNeil, like you can be pretty sure you're going to get a good quality product out of them every time. To me, the next question is like, how do the kids do? Because especially if they're not having the same amount of seasoned whatever, like, how are they going to sound? Because sometimes when you get kids who are doing voices for stuff, it's just like, this is awkward because they don't know the inflection. They don't know, like, know how to do it. It sounds like they're just reading it. It's actually my least favorite part of The Incredibles. Just to jump to a different voice acted movie. There's a kid who talks in one part and it's cutesy, but he sounds like he's either reciting what somebody told him or like reading it or something, and it doesn't sound very natural.
Yeah.
And I was always like, it's one of my moments where I'm just like, okay, it takes me out of it a little bit.
This does sound natural to me.
But yeah, they do a very good job of picking up the characterization.
Yeah.
Like, this is Sarah's the only return person.
Right.
And so everybody else had to pick up, not only do the characterization from the first one and try to carry that forward, but also like pick up, not just make it sound similar, but like pick up the intricacies. Like Ducky does the thing where she repeats things over and over. Yep, yep, yep.
Yeah.
We do. Stuff like that. And they picked it up and ran with it. And I attribute
by the end of the movie, you get what the characters are. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
There was, at the beginning of the movie, I was kind of like, oh, I don't know about this person playing like Littlefoot.
Yes.
By the way, when Littlefoot grows up, is that Bigfoot now?
Yes.
Is that like the first Bigfoot?
Yes, that's how he gets.
That's how you get
Brontosaurus evolves into a
Bigfoot,
into a hominid ape guy.
But what I'm saying is, it's like by the end of the movie, towards maybe 2/3 of the movie, I was like really invested in him, in the acting, in the voice acting.
Yes,
yeah.
I thought it did very well, and part of that is it's easy to say, well, Andrea Romano just picks out really good talent because she does. Like, I don't think there's anybody who can hold a candle to like her pedigree with these things.
To video, like, because sometimes those are crapshoots.
Yes,
like this is a fine, I think voice acted movie.
When Andrea Romano, she does an excellent job of picking the right people who elevate the material.
Mm-hmm.
I think back to like Batman and Superman, all those like DC animated things, because I love those. Those I could watch those all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because in the original Batman animated stuff, the voice acting in that, you can tell it's a little bit different. Like it's like you would expect voice acting with cartoons to be back in the day, where it was just kind of like, I'm just voicing this and whatever. And I feel like over time she really elevated that and brought more people on board, and it turned it into, from this just kind of like, I'm just a cartoon, into like something that was very serious. And
well, when you're acting, it's reacting, right?
Yeah.
And so when you're doing a cartoon, that's got to be kind of hard to kind of, relay that.
Yes.
Back to the audience. You have to have a really good voice actor to do that.
Yes.
And part of that is, you're reacting through your lines and not necessarily, because the animation does that.
Yes.
For them, but you have to have that inflection. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty well done.
I thought, the voice acting was good.
Can we talk about the animation?
Yes.
At times I thought the animation was clunky.
Yes.
I mean, it is a product of its time, I would say.
Yeah.
But it was kind of a little bit clunky. I don't like when like someone shows a rain and it's the same drip.
Yeah.
Like over and over again.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's like
it's like cheaper animation tricks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Well, and I think
I realize it's like geared towards kids.
Right. But I think the difference here is
but going by the same rock over and over.
Yeah. Well, the difference is here is it's made for video release and Laserdisc release.
Mm.
And so that's got a different budget and it's got a different whatever. The first one visually is great.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
And it's a lot smoother.
It's been a while.
But it's a Don Bluth film.
Yeah.
And those Don Bluth films, like, and some of them, like, when you go back and look, I think there is a bit of nostalgia when you're like, oh, it's so smooth and stuff. But I'm sorry, like, I think of An American Tail.
Mm-hmm.
And that, to me, that movie looks fantastic. And he was trying things and he was being dark and doing these other things that, like, Disney really wasn't doing at the time. Because they're being Disney happy, and this was like, hey, I'm going to show you some gritty and grim kind of things. And to me, The Land Before Time did that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when it gets to the DVD release, this is the first one you could tell this is where they took it in a different direction. There's 14 of these things, and 13 out of the 14 of them are, that was me, 13 of the 14 of them are very kiddie. Because they changed the direction. This is the first time they added music to it. It's the first time.
This is very kiddie. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. And so.
But I was taken back by a little bit of it.
But I think when they did that, they stripped away some of the, like that super hyper detailed animation from it.
It strips away the specialness of the first movie.
Yes.
Very, very much so.
Can I say though, like, if to compare this, though, I don't want to like completely dog it because
I do.
I go back and I look at.
No, I don't.
I always think of Disney as this kind of like high quality whatever, and like they're the thing you're talking about where you're like, oh, you see the same drip of water over and over and stuff.
Yeah, I mean that's just a minor kind of like
right, but Disney did that with their television shows.
Very much so.
But if you go and look, there's this kind of demarcation point. If you go back and look, if it's been a while since you've seen The Little Mermaid.
Oh, yeah.
Go back.
Yes.
The animation on that kind of is not great.
Yes.
It's the animation.
No, I think of like when I see the water in that compared to like Moana.
Yeah.
Like the water's just like, oh my God, that looks like water.
Yeah.
Like real water.
The animation in The Little Mermaid is basically the same animation you got out of the Disney TV shows back in the day, like Gargoyles and Tailspin and DuckTales and stuff like that. It's the same kind of style. It's not like the greatest. It's not terrible, but it's not the greatest. But to me, what you're seeing with this show is comparable to those. Like,
it is
some of the trickery and stuff. They put money behind it,
but the plot and the acting.
But it was. I mean, it's clearly for little kids. Whereas I would say the Disney stuff, it usually tends to be more like overall family oriented. Like, it appeals to many people within the family. Mm-hmm. I don't know that this one has that.
No, there's not moments where you're like, they gave me an adult joke that went over the kids' heads.
Right.
Dude, that Toy Story is so good at that. A lot of like newer Disney stuff.
Really Lion King. King. I mean, any of those movies have those moments.
Yeah, and it's like, well, this one is really geared towards preschool and up kind of thing. Yeah, where you got, which is fine.
Which it's a cute movie, but obviously it's definitely compared to like other movies around the same.
It's hard, but like it's a fine movie, but the plot, just like you said, it feels like it's 2 or 3 movies.
Yeah, basically the first movie the first section is
like the
egg stealing dinosaurs.
Yes,
and they chase them off. Mm-hmm. The next one is they go and decide they're going to, or no, the first one is they wander off and they fall into the tar, and that's kind of where the first end point is, because their family comes and saves them. Yeah. And then the second part is they chase the second part is they go and chase the egg stealing dinosaurs and bring the egg back. And then the egg hatches and it's a Tyrannosaurus baby.
What do they call them? Like sharp teeth?
Sharp tooth.
Sharp tooths?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they...
Did you say chartreuse?
Chartreuse.
Okay.
Yeah, she's chartreuse. Actually, was it chartreuse?
No, it was sharp tooth.
Okay. I don't know.
But the like little baby hatches. And
and then the third part T-Rex. Is where they're trying to get the wall sealed up and get like the T-Rexes out of there.
Yeah, the two.
And so it's like there's 3 sections of the movie pretty much.
Yeah, but like the third section we kind of lose his friends a little bit.
Yeah, we do.
And we just like kind of have him. But like to me, I have to talk about like the Triceratops, Sarah.
Yeah.
Cannot stand Sarah.
No.
Sarah's the one that gets him in trouble. And like he's the one learning the lesson.
Yes.
He doesn't really like, for the most part, he's not a bad dinosaur.
No.
Like he's not a bad kid, if we're gonna assume that he's like the equivalent of a kid.
Yeah.
It's mostly Sarah that probably like knocks him up, and like not knocks him up, but like,
well, this took a weird.
I'm really getting in trouble this episode, aren't I?
Yeah,
with my phrasing, like props him up to get him in trouble is what I meant.
Yeah,
I don't mean like he's Katherine Heigl.
Well, she goads him into stuff a lot of times, where she's like, "Oh, right. Well, I'm going to go and do this."
It's like, but then I can't stand it because she's like, "Well, I don't want to go. Well, I guess I'll go." Yeah. Like she's very contradictory of herself, and I'm like, I don't like that. Too much.
She's the one.
And I'm like, you're not learning anything anyway.
Right. She gives it away to like the egg stealing dinosaurs. They're afraid of tangling with them because they think a T-Rex is protecting them. She's the one who spoils and says,
they sing a song about inclusiveness, and then she's all like, "We don't want you, Chomper."
Yeah, they sing a whole fucking song about inclusiveness. They sing a whole song
about it.
But in all fairness, he bites her ass.
I don't care.
And then she's like, "Get out of here,
Get out of here. I don't want you.
Bitch.
Get out of here, bitch. Chomper."
Which is a direct line from the movie.
Get
out of here,
verbatim.
Bitch.
Bitch, get out of here. Chomper, come back. She didn't mean to call you a bitch. Another quote from the movie.
Yes, it is.
You can look it up.
Yep.
Not lying.
Also, I
don't like that. Because I feel like, what are you learning? And so we're meant to have Littlefoot learn, which I know that he's the main character.
Yeah, right.
But I don't feel like he's going through that much of a progression of learning. He's just like, at the end, like, well, I don't really want to be an adult, but I still want to be an adult.
Yeah.
So what the fuck did you learn?
Yeah.
Littlefoot?
To me, it's like Bambi. Like he kind of is like going to come back and be the king of the forest kind of thing eventually. But Like he's
I
got
guess,
the, he's going to be
13 movies later. Took you 13 movies to get.
I don't think he's an adult by the end of those.
Oh, I don't
That's
know.
one thing I'm like, well, you could have like had the next generation of them, and you know.
Oh yes.
Also,
The Land
they're
Before
very.
Time, the next generation, starring Patrick Stewart.
It's me, little.
the narrator.
The
Engage.
So the funny thing is, don't know why this bothers me, and it literally bothered me throughout the entire movie. Is that they talk about inside the Hidden Valley
Ranch
on their ranch. That's where all of the plant eaters are, and all of the meat eaters stay outside of the Hidden Valley. And first off, we never figure out how the hell the egg stealers get there.
No, we just assume that they do.
They just show up and they're like, eggs.
Oh, I went through the cracks.
But then here's the part that really bothered me. Petrie is there. The pterodactyl, or pterodon, or whatever you want to call him.
That sounds like Jar Jar Binks.
Yes, but he eats fish. He eats meat stuff. So why are you like they ate? Meat.
Yeah.
So how come he's allowed to be part of this cabal of whatever?
Not according to Sarah. Sarah would be like, get out of here.
Well, nobody tell him.
They would sing a song about inclusiveness, and she'd be like, get out of here.
Also, I felt kind of like wasted with, so there's the two egg-stealing dinosaurs, so Ozzy and Strut. And Strut, the one who's voiced by Rob Paulson, at the beginning, he's trying to eat plants. And the other one's like, no, you eat only eggs. And so, like, I was just like, it was kind of a missed opportunity to have Strut become a good guy, and, like, you could keep another creepy Rob Paulson character around.
Yeah, you could. But that guy can do anything.
Yeah, he can.
This is the first of the Land Before Time movies that had music. Music was written by the Roaches.
The Roaches.
Which they were three, like, sisters, right?
Yes,
that would harmonize
sisters.
Very well, by the way.
And known for their quirky kind of melodies and their very eclectic sounding.
You would say. Yeah. So, I would like to talk about the music that's in here. So, let's talk about the first song that they reprise at the end, called Peaceful Valley. Do you remember that song?
At the very beginning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You remember it?
Yeah.
Because I don't remember the songs that much.
No, I don't.
The songs are not really...
I remember of it. I didn't know if you were asking if I knew the actual
What I'm saying
words.
is, like, you remember that there's music in it.
Yeah.
But unlike certain Disney movies...
Well, they put songs in the first, like, half of the movie, and then there's, like, no more songs. Like, and then, like, towards the end, they're like, oh, fuck, this was a musical. Song, somebody give me a song.
Right.
And, like, all of a sudden, then they're like, everybody be inclusive, except fuck you, T-Rex.
Except you, Sarah. Okay, let's talk about the egg song, which is the only one I really kind of remember.
Yeah.
Because he was like, eggs. I gotta eat eggs.
Yes.
But that's it. Again, it's these are songs that don't stick with me. But the performance sticks with me.
Yeah.
Of the song, but the song itself doesn't. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I don't know about you.
Well, yeah, because I have feelings about some of them. So, like, at the beginning...
Well, I do, too. That's what I mean.
Well, at the beginning, when you get...
toe tapping.
Well, yeah, the Hidden Valley song at the beginning.
Yeah.
I don't really remember the words to it or whatever it is, but I remember going, well, this has a nice, nice beat and tempo.
That's what I'm talking about.
Quirky sounding.
You remember, like, you remember the feel of it.
But I don't remember
but you don't know it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if someone was like, is this the song from Land Before Time 2 or Land Before Time 3? I'd be like, go fuck yourself.
Or Land Before Time...
I'd be like, go away.
Land Before Time 4?
You better leave like Chomper. I don't want you around. That's what I tell the person.
Yeah.
We talked about the inclusive one, which you're one of us now, which is probably the most, like, you get that one song where it's supposed to be like the learning experience song.
Yeah.
This is what that's supposed to be. But then again, at the end, it's like, no, you leave, Chomper. You're not one of us now.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, that defeats the purpose of that. And then we don't get any music, like you said. So kind of like defeats the purpose of why we had music to begin with.
If it was paced out a little bit better,
right.
maybe.
If the music was a little bit,
it's just more... like there's not like a song that is like that dramatic. Because I think about like Disney songs.
It's not Alan Menken at all.
Yeah, no, not by any means.
No, by any means.
But like you remember, there's music in it. I just think there was nothing that was really a showstopper.
No,
it was all just like I expected to see words coming with the bottom for like a sing along thing for kids. I mean, because it had the sing songy kind of thing.
Yeah, it was like
for
Kids
the
Boppy.
kids.
Let's sing songy sing. We like everyone to be part of us.
Yeah,
come be part of us, or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah,
but it's not memorable. The songs aren't. The tone of them are, but not the regular songs. So I don't know. Is there anything else you want to talk about this movie?
I will say that I like one thing I think that these films are good about, at least in the beginning, in the first two movies, was it's very good about its look at families, I think, and like families and community.
Yeah,
because it's dinosaurs that wouldn't have like run together or whatever, but it's people coming together. And even like
adopting people who are not
so Spike, the Stegosaurus, who doesn't talk and doesn't have his little plates yet, he is adopted by Ducky's family because his family is presumed to be killed in the first movie.
Jesus.
Yeah.
What was the first movie?
Well, it's
how dark was that thing?
They're moving out of there because it's everything like T-Rex.
I think you said that like Land Before Time 14 should just be like a meteorite that just done.
Yeah, it's 10 minutes long.
They're singing a song and then halfway into the song.
Yeah. Spike goes, I have something to say, and then it just blows up.
Oh, that's dark.
But no, it's very... They speak to a lot of good things about like family relationships, and like they show different families. So like Littlefoot, his mother has died. His father is not in the picture. In fact, I think one of the later movies he actually goes and finds his father.
Yeah.
But he's raised by his grandparents. And so like
that's true too, like different families and different
family structures. Yeah. And like he's raised by his grandparents, his mother has died. Even later on, the thing I said with like the father, I think one of the plots of one of the other movies is he finds his dad, but his dad has like another dinosaur son, so he's got like a half brother.
What?
But it's like so it's kind of this, hey, different, or he adopted somebody else, and so like it's this like stepbrother or like adopted brother or whatever, but like different family structures, and they give you a wide range of those adoptions, raised by grandparents, single parents,
mixed
some
families.
Of them have, I mean, so it's very interesting.
Even Littlefoot himself wants to adopt a T-Rex.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Somebody who, he's not normally part of our community, but he's my son, basically.
Right. Just Sarah doesn't understand it.
And he even says, like, this is your Aunt Sarah, this is your this and this. And
right.
Like, he names everybody off. And so these movies seem to be very good about exploring and showing different kinds of families. And I could dig that. Like, especially because these are for kids, and, kids didn't always get that example. Like, you go back to...
Not really, that's in...
you always see, like, examples of, like, nuclear families and stuff like that. Or
you might see, like, divorced families, but not, like...
Yeah. Well, and even then, they didn't make... Like, I remember... in Toy Story, it being kind of a big deal that they never talk about Andy's dad. So what's the deal there? Are they divorced? Were they never married? Were they, like, what's the deal? And so they never get into it. And it was kind of a big deal at the time. I remember people being like, well, wait a minute, what's going on with this? But they did a good job, I think, of like representing different kinds of families, albeit through dinosaurs.
Yeah. Can I tell you what also I think they did a good job of? That this isn't so sweet that it's exhaustingly sweet.
Yes.
Like, it's not like oversaturated with like the sweetness of it. Do you know what I mean? it kind of hits that on like the undertone of it a little bit with the dinosaurs, but it doesn't overly do it to where, because there's some little dark moments in the movie. I mean, they have to run against a volcano to try to get away from it.
Yes.
And some other kind of scary things for kids. But to be that this is targeted towards kids, it's not as cheesy as I thought it was going. Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Happy-go-lucky.
Yeah, exactly.
Not quite that.
Yeah.
It's still kind of rooted. I mean, it still has those moments, but it's mostly rooted in more.
I would agree.
I
would agree. And, along those lines,
I don't think it's bad, but I don't think it's good, the movie itself.
Agreed. And I think, though, that, like, we've talked about this many times with, like, when you get a movie and that has nostalgia to it, like, sometimes you're like, do you really like that movie, or do you like the nostalgia? And this is a movie where, like, I've seen plenty of movies where you go back and you watch it and you're like, that did not hold up for me.
Mm-hmm.
I think if I had that kind of nostalgia for this already and went back and watched this, I still think I'd probably enjoy it. I don't think it would.
Well, I think that you're headed to our 5 questions.
Yes, then let's do that.
Because I think you're kind of answering one of them.
Am I?
Kind of, I don't know.
What's the best part of this movie?
I think the voice acting is probably the best part I really enjoyed the voice acting of it.
Mm-hmm.
The plot just kind of goes a little haywire.
Yeah.
It's not quite there, but I really enjoyed the acting of Littlefoot later on in the movie.
Yeah.
I thought that was good. And that's about it.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can think of. This movie's subpar.
I mean, it's a direct. I mean, it's a post Don Bluth direct to video release thing. But no, I think that the best part of the movie for me, I'm with you. I think it's the voice acting.
Yeah.
And not just from like the adults, like the kids who do the voices, and like Littlefoot, Sarah, Ducky. I think that their voices really conveyed what was going on very well. They, had that talent to bring that out. And part of that's them. Part of that, I think, is Andrea Romano connecting the right people, and really bringing that talent out. Like, she knows what she's doing. So, no, I think the voice acting is great.
You don't feel like even though the script is not the greatest, you don't feel like they're phoning it in.
No, I don't.
Do you know what I mean?
Not at all.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Reboot, continue, or cancel?
Well, I think they should continue it with about 13 more movies and then make a TV show about it. I think that the message is there that you can continue, and it looks like they were trying to like kind of build something.
Yeah.
So I just think maybe they kind of did it too much.
Yeah.
But I say continue.
Yeah, I would too. I think it does well for what it's intended for the kids. They actually add some other characters down the road too, like different dinosaurs. And like they bump back into Chomper later on, the little T-Rex.
That's one like you're building kind of a
like he shows up later, and he actually speaks the language of both the plant eaters and the meat eaters, and kind of like brokers a peace between them a little bit. I'm just like, nice, okay, gets them to trust one another. How
many of these have you watched?
I read that.
Oh, okay, you read it.
Because I was trying to see if Chomper came back.
I didn't know if, like, when I was in the hospital, you were like, I'm going to watch all 13 of these things.
I did. I just powered through all of them.
Like, bring more coffee to me. Oh.
No one must know.
Put in the 4th one. The laser disc is busy.
My laser disc is cooling down. I'll just pop in my VHS copy I bought. No, but like you bring back these other characters. There's like some sort of like a red colored one and whatever. Like, I mean, they have all sorts of different ones that they introduced later. I was reading about, and I was like, okay, that's interesting. But I maybe would have done less in the vein of movies like VHSs, and would have done more like
with the show,
your TV show.
Yeah, with the show, I would have. Yeah. What's number 3?
Yeah, but
question 3.
Does this stand on its own?
Yeah, I think it does.
Yeah, I think so too.
There's nothing really. I mean, besides the characters tying to the first one.
Yeah.
The narrator himself pretty much gives you the exposition that you need, but it's not necessarily the exposition from the first movie. It's more kind of building this movie.
Yeah.
So I think it stands on its own.
I think so too.
For the most part.
I think it's better if you have seen the first one, knowing what the
But you
plot
don't
is there.
have to.
No, not at all. I think it's better because you know, like, what happened to his mother, and you know, like, little.
Yeah, because it was like,
background.
well, his grandparents, but
Yeah,
like, again,
and I think that adds.
But
an
again,
element.
you could just be all like, hey,
Yeah.
different family.
I think it adds an element to it, but it also doesn't hinge upon that.
Yeah.
And there's like
Doesn't
other
rely
little
on that.
things like they talk about in the first one. He has to get the tree star. He has to take that with him to like the Great Valley or whatever. And the tree star is like the leaf that they have. Like, and later they talk about tree stars in this movie, and I'm like, oh, okay, tree stars. That's a reference to the first one.
Yeah, but it's like, but it's also not like,
yeah. Again, it's not required of it.
no.
Yeah.
Little Easter eggs here and there. No pun intended for the egg snatchers.
Does this make you want to watch the first movie?
Yes.
It does.
This makes me want to watch first. Yeah, I think I enjoyed it enough to where I'm like, it's been forever since I've seen the first one.
Yeah.
I was really young. I didn't really
Yeah.
pay attention to it. Yeah, I think it does. There's enough here to warrant me to go back and watch the first one, but not all 14 of these things.
No, obviously not. That was not one of the questions.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
What about you?
I do want to watch it, but I also want to watch, like, it makes me want to watch.
14?
No, it makes me want to watch just more of those Don Bluth films that came out around that time. Because I remember Don Bluth films just being, it was like when you have the like you had the transcendentalists in writing, and then you had the anti-transcendentalists like Herman Melville, where all his shit was like gritty and grim. To me, Don Bluth is almost like the counter to Disney, where Disney's like, here's this, like glorious view of something, and this like kind of polished, shiny, even your like Oliver's and Company, where it's like, hey, it's, there's strays. It still is pretty and bright. And Don Bluth is like, no, make it darker, darker, darker.
Yeah, the first like dark Disney movie I watched was probably Hunchback.
Yeah.
But even that.
The first really dark one, yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Because he says hell and damn.
Mm-hmm. Princess Frog is pretty, like, it has dark elements, but even that, it's just part of the stylized thing. I wouldn't necessarily qualify it as dark. Like Disney,
but you're right, there's something different about it. It's kind of like your...
And Don Bluth was just like what I think of an American Tale, where he's just like, this is the immigrant story.
Yeah, that's what
and
I
you're
mean.
just like,
you're like,
oh my God.
Oh,
like,
yeah, we should tell that.
Yeah, in the first,
that's important.
In the first chunk, they talk about they're singing songs on the boat about immigration coming over, and then they're just like, and then my entire family was killed by Cossacks.
So can I say it like this? It's like you first discovered Disney, so you're like listening to Bob Dylan songs, and then all of a sudden you're like, John Prine, who's this?
Yeah.
And then you're like,
yeah.
Oh, that's kind of a more gritty, but there's some funny aspects to it, but it's more rooted in more reality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Not that Bob Dylan isn't, but
no,
you know what I mean?
I gotcha.
But you're like, oh, this is another way of writing.
Yeah, it's like your Blur versus Oasis kind of.
Yeah, kind of in
yeah.
a way. And the correct answer is pulp.
Yes.
All right. Go ahead.
One last question. Sum up your experience in 2 words.
I would say egg-tastic sequel.
Well, is egg
hyphenated
2 words? It's
hyphenated.
It's a hyphenate?
Yeah, hyphenated.
Okay.
Because it's a play on. Like egg.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah.
So,
yeah. I'm not explaining myself. You guys can figure that out. No, I think this is this is a fine sequel. I don't think it's enough. I think it's just missing something there. It has potential. I don't know. There's just something that's kind of missing there. I don't know if it is. There's a heart to, like you said, the Don Bluth movies that isn't quite in this.
Yeah.
part of that could be the fact that they tried to Disney this a lot with like, let's put music in.
Yes.
You know, the first one doesn't have any music at all. And it just didn't quite click.
Yeah.
There's a lot of elements in it and didn't quite click. But if you put them all together, you might make a good omelet. A decent omelet.
Okay.
I'm choking up.
I know.
Over there.
So poetic.
Yeah. It's not poetic.
If I could have had 3 words, I would have said sweet and dinosaur.
You don't. You have 2 words. And if you're going, if you're going to cheat, hyphenate it.
Is it sweet and?
No, it's not. You can't hyphen that.
Sweet Jody Sweeten.
Don't get started. Sweet Jody Sweeten.
No,
she's not sweet.
I would say new misdirection.
Yes,
it was like they were taking it in a new direction. Like they were trying to do something different with it, but I think it like really, like, it's fine for what it is. But if I was watching this and liking the first one, I would be pissed probably. My thought, like, obviously, like as a kid, maybe you don't think about it like that, but I think it's just so different from like the original intent. Like it is. It's taking it more in the sweet Disney direction.
I think we should have stuck with egg people and like maybe trying to get the egg back and more of like the road movie of that.
Yes.
Then we bring the egg back and now all of a sudden, because it's like 2 different movies.
Yeah.
2 or 3 different movies in there.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else on that?
No.
No? What else can I say about this movie? You can rent it if you want.
Yeah, there you go.
Or if you have stars,
it's good.
Stars.
If you have kids.
Look, if you have kids, I would totally sit kids down.
Watch
it's not that long of a movie. It might be long for you, but it's not going to be long for the kid.
Yes.
The kid will get it. The kid will understand it.
Yeah.
And the kid will have a good time with it.
Yeah.
As an adult, it doesn't add up too well.
Yeah.
But it's not geared towards us.
Exactly.
So go for it.
No, it's fine for what
I say go for it.
Yeah, do it. Do it.
Yeah. So where can people find us, Jeremy?
People can find us. It's been a long time since I've said this.
I know. Find us. We forgot last time. That's why.
People can find us at
thedeucepodcast.podbean.com.
Google Play.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever Apple iTunes became.
Apple iTunes? What was that?
Whatever iTunes became.
Oh, whatever it is. Whatever.
Apple Music, Apple Podcast.
Yeah, whatever.
That one, yeah. Oh, my God.
Are we part of a network?
We are. We are on the No Phony Podcast Network.
We are?
Find
We're
us
still on that thing?
And, yeah, I know.
We haven't been kicked off.
You can find us, and you can find a lot of our podcast mates there. They have all sorts of great stuff going on right now. We've added some audio dramas and are actually working on a couple others right now.
Yes, sure.
Lots of great stuff there. New shows come in and out all the time. So definitely check out there. But you can also find us at nophonynetwork.com. And of course on our Facebook page and Twitter at Deuce Podcast.
There you go. So next week, what are we doing?
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we're going to do probably the Flintstones at Viva Rock Vegas.
Okay, because we had Flintstones and we had the Ice Age movie. Those
the Ice Age movie? Should we do that instead?
I don't know.
I don't know. You pick.
I'm not going to pick right now.
The Ice Age?
I'm not going to pick on the...
Well, okay. Come back next week and we'll decide which one we're going to do.
We'll decide what it is.
I just thought, because the terribleness of the Flintstones movies...
And you were going to balance it with the Ice Age movies?
Are they terrible too? I've never seen the Ice Age movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So maybe we should.
And there's
I've never seen the Flintstones.
Yeah, it's a tough call because the Ice Age movies, they have... The dinosaurs are like not the main characters usually.
Right, and the Flintstones is Dino.
Yeah, right. So. And the Flintstones one is going to have the Great Gazoo in it. And
let's do that one.
And it's a prequel.
Oh, it is a prequel?
It is a prequel.
Then screw that.
Let's not do that. Ice Age it is.
Ice Age it is, people. So remember, we're going to be doing Ice Age next week, I think. And also, the sequel is King.
I can't wait to see you.
See you.
See you. What's up today? Can you hear me calling?
Calling.
Calling. It's time to play. Every cloud in the sky, green leaf on a tree is reminding me faraway dreams really do come true. Come on, let's go. Let's go and run around, run around. What a beautiful feeling. We finally found a peaceful valley. And everybody's having a good time now. Sunsets and rises.